Today I want to read a little bit something and discuss with you a topic that I really heavily promote and heavily get people to understand this is what is needed. And I also live by example, I'm never, or I shouldn't say never, but I'm hardly ever depressed anymore, unhappy, and pessimistic. So I strive to be as positive as I possibly can. And even though I understand that there's, violence all around the world and there's suffering and there's turmoil and, you know, not everything goes well in our lives. And a lot of times I might say, damn, or this or that. But that's just a reaction that we have, you know. But let me talk a little bit before I actually read you the section of my book, How to Create the Perfect Vegan Life. Here is the paperback copy. It's only 54 pages, so it's very, very short, like a little booklet, kind of. And basically, How to Create the Perfect Vegan Life, it's about three things, basically. How we as vegans, it's basically how we avoid burning out and spreading this message to the world so we can live in peace and freedom. So that's basically the three basic principles. The first one is to be positive and why it's so important to be positive. The second one is to why we must cultivate the inner, which is basically doing a lot of meditation and inner spiritual work. And the third thing is why it's so important to be vegan advocates and spread this vegan message to as many people as we can. So let's get into, okay, hold on one second. So what was I going to read now? Positive mental attitude is essential. So let's read a little bit of that. Okay. So I'm not going to read the whole thing. We're just going to read a little bit. So that's chapter 6, as you can see right here. So basically, I feel that there are two things in life that really uh, really are worth living, for me anyways. And I think for other people, it's the same thing as well. So we can understand, we understand as vegans that there's so much suffering and violence and turmoil going on in the world. And when we visit, supermarkets, when we visit or at least pass by, um, butcher shops, go through the meat aisles in the supermarkets, or the dairy or the egg aisles. When we still have, oh, when we go to bear witness and we see on the highways, we see these trucks pass by with animals or empty. It makes us feel sad and depressed, like, what has this world come to? But we have to realize that there's a lot of beauty and there's a lot of hope. And if we continue being pessimistic for the outlook on the future, for our own lives, and, just telling ourselves, well, what's the use? Humans are never going to change. They're all, you know, the reason why humans can't change, a lot of humans can't awaken to love, is because they're eating it every day. They're eating, they're wearing, they're immersed in animal use and animal cruelty. That's the thing, is that they're living the life of violence. And so we have to understand that they're born this way. We're born to, we're born, in one way, we're born to be, we're told to be loving and kind and caring and share with other kids and to be respectful and to be non to play with one another, not to be competing and all these things. But then when we get as we get a little older, we're taught the opposite as well. We're taught to compete by getting jobs and trying to compete to get the best job, to compete as in sports and stuff like football and soccer and all these things, to compete against one another. We're told to not just compete, we're told to fight for our rights and fight for our house, and we're told that this is our property and this is ours and not to share and all these things. So we're given a mixed message in life, and that leads on, and we're also fed all this animal foods which are full of vibrations of fear and violence and suffering and so forth, and we succumb to the same issues, the same illnesses: fear, depression, cancers and illnesses and diseases and depression and low self-esteem and self-hate and all these things. So let's get into reading this chapter. So we're going to just read a little bit of this chapter. Each chapter is pretty short, as you know. It's 54 pages, and there's about 9 chapters plus the introduction and afterward. So a positive mental attitude is essential. A general positive mind and outlook in life are essential if we want to be effective vegan advocates and to avoid burnout. As we learned in the previous chapters, it is crucial that as vegans we advocate for animals and veganism. We can't be silent. It is imperative that everyone is exposed to this message. Being an angry and judgmental vegan is counterintuitive. I have found that vegans who exhibit anger and judgment towards non-vegans, the non-vegan tends to shut down. This is why many non-vegans consider vegans to be extreme and fanatical. This gives other peaceful vegans a bad name. There is a lot of suffering and violence around the world. Vegans don't live in a vegan world, and it can be hard to cope, especially when we start out as new vegans. It can also be hard to be around non-vegans and our family during the festive seasons. It is best that we view others as pre-vegans, because everyone in this or another lifetime will be vegan at some point. This or another lifetime This gives us hope for a more positive future to look forward to. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't advocate for veganism just because non-vegans may go vegan at some stage in their life. The more vegan seeds that are planted, the faster one will go vegan. It is vital that the majority of humans go vegan as quickly as possible. It is projected that if we don't, we might not have much longer to live. As I mentioned in my book, The Lost Love, there are positive and negative emotions. Positive emotions, such as love and compassion, attract the same emotions. This is why, when our thoughts are positive, we exhibit the same positive feelings on the outer level. Just like if our thoughts and actions are negative, in return, negativity emotions arise. This is why positivity is very important. People ask me, how can we be positive in a violent and destructive society? So I'm going to stop there because it goes kind of up to the next section. But I'm going to read a little bit more here in this chapter, but a different section. So, okay. This next part here, actually, I'm not going to be reading anymore, but this next part here is all about, I call mental illnesses. Some people don't like that term, but mental illnesses, which is stuff like self-harm, OCD, bipolar disorder, depression, anxiety, panic attacks, low self-esteem, all that stuff. And I tell people that, yeah, even if you have these things, we got to understand that animals are in worse off situations than us, non-human animals. And so we must must understand that there are worse people worse off than us, and non-human animals worse off than us, and we have to be grateful for our lives. Of course, our lives are not perfect, and you know, my life is not perfect. I have a lot of turmoil and things that I need to deal with and solve and fix, and maybe some of my issues will never be resolved. But we must understand that there are others that are less well, and better off than us, and we have to help them. Of course, we have to help ourselves too, because if we don't help ourselves, we can't help others. But at the same time, we can help others, and we can do what we can to spread this message to the world and to everyone that we can. And so I think positivity, and I was just saying before that the two things in life that really helped me on my path and journey in life is love, seeing everyone, including nature, as love, seeing them with unconditional love. And also to see positivity in everything, see positivity and positive outlook for the future. And so those things are the most, I think, I believe, and I feel are the most important things because they have helped me in my life tremendously. The love that I try to give to everyone, or I try to give as much love as I possibly can to people. And of course, we still have this programming, this indoctrination in our minds and our hearts. And so don't forget, we've been indoctrinated our whole lives, or at least a lot of years or decades. And so we have to kind of get back to our natural selves, which is love. And that's hard. I mean, even 9 years as a vegan, it's hard to really go back to our natural compassion. In fact, we never even had that natural compassion. Yes, we can definitely see that kids have more love and more compassion, and they see others as just children, and they don't see this different skin color, or they don't see different race or nationality. They don't see animals as different. They just eat the animals because that's what they're told to do, and their parents give them foods, and they eat what they eat. And if they were told what is there, uh, I mean, as time goes on, people know that what they're eating is what they're eating are animals, and we know that. I knew that too. I just was totally oblivious to the idea. I knew that they were animals. I knew that that's what I was eating, but I was so blinded. I had these blinders on, and in fact, I rather like to call it armor. It was like an armor, and I peeled all the armor off. And we still have, as vegans, maybe even fruitarians, we still have some armor left on us that we need to peel off, and that is the hurt that we're going through, the 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 healing that we need to do. And so the peeling off of armor is really what we need to do. And I think love and positivity are really, really key when living as a vegan and promoting the vegan message. So I thank you for listening. Don't forget the how to create the perfect vegan life is now out as an ebook. So it's available as PDF, Kindle, Kobo, various other ebook formats, and it will be out shortly as a paperback because I'm still proofing the book and getting it perfect and everything ready. Once it is ready, it will be available probably sometime in May. And what else can I say? That's about it. Don't forget to like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it around if you like this video, and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit that little bell because that is the one that makes you receive the notifications. Thanks for watching, and I gotta fix this mouse, because it's not working and I can't turn off this this video. Okay. Take care, guys. Love you all.